What rule got changed because of you? I started a new office job, and they had a super strict dress code. I have a pretty big scar on my scalp from a surgery when I was a kid, and I've always been self conscious about it. So I wore a simple plain black beanie to cover it. It was discreet, no logos, and looked professional. For the first 3 weeks, nobody said a thing. Then, my manager, Karen, decided to update the dress code. She sent out a company wide email saying all headwear must be formal and business appropriate. The next day, she called me into her office. She pointed at my beanie and said it was no longer acceptable. I explained calmly, "It's just to cover a scar. I'm happy to buy a different one if this color is the problem." She just shook her head. Beanies are not formal. The rule is the rule. You could wear a wig if you're that concerned. I was stunned. A wig. I couldn't afford that. And it felt so humiliating. I went home that night and read her email over and over. Formal and business appropriate. That vague wording was her mistake. The next morning, I walked in wearing a fascinator, a big bright turquoise one with feathers and a little net that came down over my eye. It was something you'd see at a fancy horse race. Karen's jaw hit the floor. "What is that on your head?" I smiled. "It's a fascinator. It's formal headwear. Is it not business appropriate?" She was completely speechless. It technically followed her new rule. She couldn't say anything. The next day, I wore a sleek navy pillbox hat, very 1960s. The day after that, a small, classy top hat. My coworkers thought it was hilarious. They started placing bets on what I'd wear next. My little corner of the office became the most popular spot for people to walk by. Karen got angrier every day, but I was following her rule perfectly. The breaking point came when the regional director was visiting our branch. That day, I had chosen a particularly bold, peacock-feathered headpiece. The director came over to my desk looking confused. He asked Karen why I was dressed for a royal wedding. Karen pulled him aside, and I could hear her whispering that I was mocking the company policy. The director then came and spoke to me directly. I explained the whole situation very calmly. I told him about my scar, how Karen had refused to make an exception for a simple beanie, and how I was just doing my best to follow the new formal headwear rules she had created. He looked at me, then at Karen, and then he just started to laugh. A full, loud laugh right in the middle of the office. He told Karen that her lack of common sense was creating a bigger distraction than a plain beanie ever could. The next morning, a new email went out to the entire company from the director's office. The subject line was, "Revision to dress code policy." The new rule was very specific. Effective immediately, the headwear policy is as follows. Plain solid colored beanies and religious head coverings are permitted. All other hats and headwear are not.